The FBI's recent raid on P. Diddy's homes has opened a Pandora's box of shocking revelations, sparking a whirlwind of discussions across the nation. The sheer scale of what was discovered is both bizarre and unsettling, pulling back the curtain on activities that have allegedly been hidden for years. The centerpiece of this investigation appears to be a series of extravagant parties, nicknamed freak-offs, that Diddy reportedly hosted in his mansions. These were no ordinary social gatherings. They were something far more elaborate, controversial, and potentially incriminating. During the search, agents uncovered items that painted a vivid and perhaps even disturbing picture of what these freak-offs entailed. The party supplies alone were enough to raise eyebrows. Massive quantities of baby oil and industrial-sized containers of lubricant were found stashed away, suggesting a level of preparation that went far beyond what anyone might consider normal. The sheer volume of these supplies seemed almost absurd, but they hinted at the outrageous and unrestrained nature of the events that had taken place within the luxurious walls of Diddy's estates. While the discovery of these party essentials might seem odd enough, it was the firearms found during the raid that added a much darker and more dangerous tone to the situation. Hidden among the party supplies were illegal guns, firearms that many believe should not even exist in the hands of private citizens. These weren't ordinary weapons either. Some of them were reportedly modified in ways that made them especially alarming. Their presence raised serious concerns about the safety of these gatherings, as well as the potential for violent incidents. The presence of such weapons in the middle of these wild parties created an atmosphere that was not just reckless, but outright hazardous. However, the most explosive discovery came in the form of tapes, allegedly incriminating footage that could shine a light on activities and interactions that occurred during these events. According to initial reports, these recordings were far from ordinary. They are said to contain evidence of actions and behaviors that might not only damage reputations, but also result in significant legal consequences. The exact contents of the tapes remain undisclosed to the public, but their existence alone has caused a media frenzy, with many speculating about what secrets they might hold. The notion that Diddy, one of the world's most prominent music moguls, could have maintained such a double life for so long is both shocking and fascinating. For decades, he has been a symbol of success, a man who built an empire through music, fashion, and business ventures. Yet behind this polished public image, these allegations suggest a private world of excess, secrecy, and questionable morality. The contrast between Diddy's public persona and the allegations surrounding the freak-offs could not be starker, leaving fans and critics alike grappling with the implications. What's particularly unsettling is the level of organization and effort that reportedly went into keeping these events under wraps. Sources close to the investigation have described a highly controlled environment where secrecy was paramount. Guests attending the freak-offs were allegedly required to adhere to strict confidentiality rules. Phones were confiscated at the entrance, ensuring that no pictures or videos could leak. Security personnel were employed to patrol the premises, making sure that the gatherings remained hidden from the outside world. Inside the mansions, entire rooms were transformed to fit the themes of the parties. Elaborate lighting systems were installed, and soundproofing ensured that the music and commotion wouldn't attract unwanted attention from neighbors or passers-by. The level of detail and planning involved was extraordinary, suggesting that these events were not spur-of-the-moment decisions, but carefully orchestrated productions. Each element was designed to create an atmosphere of indulgence and extravagance, further highlighting the stark contrast between the public image of Diddy and the private activities alleged to have taken place. The implications of this scandal extend beyond the realm of parties and indulgence. There are questions about power dynamics and the role that Diddy's influence and wealth may have played in these events. With his status as a major figure in the entertainment industry, Diddy wielded significant power. Some have speculated that these parties may have been more than just wild gatherings. They could have served as a means of control, a way for Diddy to exert influence over attendees, many of whom may have been aspiring artists or industry professionals looking to advance their careers. This brings us back to the tapes. If the recordings indeed contain evidence of manipulative or exploitative behavior, the fallout could be devastating, not just for Diddy, but for anyone else implicated. The tapes are believed to capture moments that go far beyond partying, potentially exposing a side of celebrity culture that is rarely seen by the public. These recordings could reveal how power and privilege are sometimes abused behind closed doors, and they might serve as a wake-up call for an industry that often thrives on secrecy and exclusivity. As of now, the public remains in the dark about the full extent of the evidence uncovered during the raid. The legal proceedings are still in their early stages, and it's likely that more shocking details will emerge as the case unfolds. What's clear, however, is that this situation has already caused significant damage to Diddy's reputation. The man once celebrated as a cultural icon and business mogul is now at the center of a scandal that threatens to overshadow all of his achievements. The reactions to these revelations have been mixed. Fans who once admired Diddy for his charisma and success are now questioning their loyalty, while critics argue that this scandal is indicative of a larger problem within the entertainment industry. The notion that someone of Diddy's stature could keep such activities hidden for years raises concerns about accountability and transparency among the rich and powerful. It also underscores the difficulty of reconciling a celebrity's public image with the reality of their private actions. The fallout from this scandal is likely to be far-reaching, affecting not only Diddy, but also the many individuals who may have been involved in or aware of these activities. The music industry, already under scrutiny for its treatment of artists and the culture of excess that often surrounds it, will undoubtedly face renewed calls for reform and oversight. As more details come to light, the world will be watching closely to see how this story unfolds and what lessons, if any, can be learned from it. For now, the central questions remain. How did these parties go unnoticed for so long? What role did secrecy and privilege play in keeping them hidden? And perhaps most importantly, what else is yet to be uncovered? These questions will likely shape the narrative as the investigation continues, leaving the public to grapple with the unsettling reality that even the most glamorous and successful figures can have deeply hidden secrets. The latest revelations from the FBI raid on P. Diddy's homes have pulled the curtain back on allegations that go far beyond mere wild parties. What started as whispers about extravagant drug-fueled gatherings has escalated into allegations of blackmail, coercion, and illegal transportation of individuals across state lines for exploitative purposes. These shocking claims have placed one of the music industry's biggest names at the center of a federal investigation that's rapidly gaining momentum. Allegations of blackmail and coercion. Among the most damning accusations is the claim that Diddy used the footage from his so-called freak-offs as a tool for blackmail. These recordings, allegedly made without consent, captured explicit moments involving attendees, some of whom were reportedly coerced into performing extended sexual acts. The allegations suggest that these tapes were then used to exert control over individuals, ensuring their silence or compliance with Diddy's wishes. This layer of manipulation paints a chilling picture of how power may have been wielded at these gatherings. The FBI's findings suggest that Diddy employed force, threats of force, and various forms of coercion to pressure victims into participating in these acts. Some of these victims were reportedly male commercial sex workers who were transported across state lines to attend the events. The level of planning and coordination alleged in these reports indicates that these weren't spontaneous gatherings, but rather meticulously organized spectacles where every detail was controlled. Diddy's role in the freak-offs. The so-called freak-offs were not mere parties, they were carefully orchestrated events according to the allegations. Diddy's involvement was reportedly central to their planning and execution. From deciding who attended to dictating the activities that took place, Diddy allegedly managed every aspect of these events. This control extended to hiring security teams to ensure the privacy of attendees and confiscating phones to prevent leaks. The FBI claims that these parties often had themes and elaborate setups. The decorations, lighting, and sound systems were designed to create an atmosphere of luxury and hedonism. Behind the scenes, however, these gatherings reportedly operated under a much darker set of rules, with attendees being subjected to coercion and exploitation. The FBI raid, uncovering the evidence. The FBI's raid on Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles revealed a trove of evidence that investigators believe corroborates these allegations. Alongside the previously mentioned tapes, agents reportedly found detailed logs, financial records, and communications that tied Diddy to the planning and execution of these events. These documents are said to outline payments made to individuals and companies involved in the transportation of sex workers across state lines. The tapes themselves are at the heart of the investigation. While their contents remain undisclosed, sources close to the case describe them as both explicit and deeply incriminating. If these recordings do indeed show evidence of blackmail or coercion, they could prove pivotal in the legal proceedings that lie ahead. The allegations of exploitation. The allegations also include claims that Diddy used his position of power to exploit individuals who attended these events. Many of the attendees were reportedly people from within the entertainment industry or aspiring artists looking to make connections.